ora anō. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I wanted to share a bit of a journey in this video for a couple of reasons. It might resonate with someone, I don't know. Someone might find it inspiring, I don't know. But I also wanted a kind of visual record for myself. So that is what is happening in this video. I'm going to try and keep it under half an hour, but we'll see. And we're just going to jump straight into it because the more I talk now, the less time I'm going to have to kind of talk about this whole journey that I've been on. So I guess it really starts back in the beginning of this year when I decided to stop dyeing my hair, which seems like a bit of an odd thing to kind of kick things off, but that's what happened. January 2nd, to be precise, I decided that I was sick of my long black hair and I felt like I wasn't living authentically. Now, I've had black hair for the most part, since I was 14. I'm now 44, so a good 40 years I've been colouring my hair. I had a lot of facial piercings as well, and I just felt that for me personally, as much as I love the Gothic subculture, I love the Gothic aesthetic, I have done since I was a very young child, and I will always love the Gothic aesthetic and the subculture. I felt, for me, expressing myself that way, that I was a little bit too old, and I wasn't enjoying it on me anymore. I still love it on other people, but for me, I just felt that it was starting to look a little bit sad, almost. So I thought, you know, I'm sick of, there are a whole host of reasons why I decided to stop colouring my hair. That was one of them, that I felt like I just wasn't living authentically. Also, because the upkeep of it was just insane. Every 2 weeks I was having to colour my hair. It's not healthy. It's full of chemicals. It goes right into your bloodstream, and that was starting to scare me a little bit. And I was also building up a bit of a sensitivity to the hair dye. And it actually wouldn't matter whether I did it at home or, excuse me, whether I went to the salon to do it, which, to be honest, wasn't all that often because I don't have the budget to be going to the salon every couple of weeks to get my roots done. So I was just, you know, doing it at home, and it was starting to sting and itch, and that was concerning me quite a bit too. So I was like, right, I'm done with this. And I said to myself, I don't care what it looks like. I'm gonna love it, and that's it. And I do really love it, I must say. It's not how I thought it was gonna look. I have tried to grow my hair out before, quite a few years ago. I think I got to about the 7-month mark, and then someone said something on Facebook like, oh, you look really old or something like that, and I obsessed over it and I recoloured my hair. But this time round it looks quite a bit different, and I love it, and I get quite a lot of compliments on it too, which is really nice. So that was it. You know, I've not colouring my hair, and I mean, I will never ever colour my hair again, like ever. So that was kind of the thing that started everything off. I stopped colouring my hair. I also, around about the same time, I started feeling stressed in my home, which is something that, like, my house is my sanctuary. My house is, you know, my home, my castle. It's my sanctuary. My home is where I feel the most happy and secure and contented. And it was because I had so much stuff, and especially in our bedroom. I used to be a big spender. I spent thousands upon thousands of dollars of money. That, I don't think that made any sense anyway, whatever. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on clothing, alternative clothing, Killstar, Band Apparel, Sourpuss. Oh, there were a few other brands that you could get here. And I went quite nuts, and I spent all this money on alternative clothing because I had the means to do it, and I loved the look. And I brought so much stuff that I actually forgot half of what I had brought, and I would be looking for an item of clothing in my drawers, for example, and it would be so stressful because everything was black, and trying to pick out a particular item that is black in a drawer that is just a sea of black, it was so stressful. I'd end up emptying out the entire drawer and there'd be mess everywhere, and I can't stand that. And it was getting too much. And I started thinking about my spending habits, and I was like, you know, I spend all this money on stuff and I actually don't get it. I don't get any pleasure from it, to be honest. I get a small bit of, oh, how exciting when it turns up in the mail, and then it gets put away and it gets forgotten about. I brought this dress, as an example. I brought this dress from Killstar. It was this beautiful, long, sort of maxi black burnt out velvet dress, and actually it's Black Friday featured it in a haul that she had done. I had already ordered mine, and then she tried it on and I was like, oh, that's what I brought and it's really lovely and blah blah blah. So I brought the dress and I brought the shawl to match, and it was expensive. I think for both of them it was near $400, because, you know, it's New Zealand and everything was triple the price here. So it arrived, I tried it on, it fitted really well. It had these long drapey Letitia Adam sleeves. It was lovely. It was really long. I knew I had to get it taken up, and I was like, oh, that's really cool, and put it away, and honestly forgot about it. And I would be looking through my wardrobe for stuff, you know, periodically, and I would come across it and I'd be like, oh, I need to go and get that dress taken up. But honestly, where the hell was I going to wear it? I don't go anywhere. I am rather a hermit. I love being at home. I am at home. I go to work. I go to my horse paddock, or we're out in the country walking around and on drives and picnics and things like that. I don't go anywhere that would warrant wearing a long black velvet dress. And I had a lot of items in my wardrobe that were like that I had brought and that I had never worn and that didn't suit me. I don't want to, this is just for me personally, I don't want to tell other people what they should and shouldn't wear or what is age appropriate, but for me personally, being a bigger person, some of the clothes that I had just weren't flattering. So I started really thinking about my spending, and I was like, you know, this is just, I'm not feeling this anymore. I went through my entire house, our bedroom. I keep saying my bedroom, our bedroom, because, you know, I share with my husband, obviously. Our bedroom, the kitchen, the bathroom, my witchy room, all my makeup, the whole kit and caboodle. I went through the whole house. I sold a huge amount of stuff. Thankfully managed to claw back quite a lot of my money, not all of it, but some of it that I had spent on all this alternative clothing. I donated, I think, around 7 or 8 carloads, massive carloads of stuff to the Salvation Army of stuff. I donated a whole bunch of witchy stuff to a lovely lady who was starting out on her journey and really appreciated the stuff. Things that I just didn't resonate with. And every time I posted something or that someone had brought, or I had, you know, dropped another carload off at the thrift shop, another layer had lifted off me. And I was like, you know, all the shopping gave me a bit of a thrill when I brought it, and then it was kind of over and done with. And it got me thinking about the things in my life that are long-lasting happiness, things that I, you know, love, like my garden and reading and my animals and, you know, hanging out with my husband and going for our little excursions that we do at the weekends, you know, out into the country, and picnics and things like that. Those sorts of things, and my spirituality, obviously, are things that bring me joy. This needless spending didn't. So I stopped all that. I stopped all needless spending. I had a massive declutter of my house, and that was amazing. That was an amazing feeling, being able to get rid of so much stuff that just wasn't serving me anymore. Around about that time, I also started watching a new channel on here, and the channel, I will link it down below. I'm sure most people have heard of it, but I will link it in case you haven't. And it has had such a huge impact on me. And the channel is called Fairyland Cottage, and I'm sorry I can't pronounce the lovely lady's name. She's Irish, and I'm really bad with pronunciation anyway, but her channel is focused on simple living, sustainable living. She does quiet sort of evening routines and quiet morning routines, and it's had such a huge impact on my life in such a powerful way. And she got me thinking about my own life and about just every aspect of my life and how actually unhappy I have been over the last few years with my life. I changed the way I shop because her channel does have a lot of focus on sustainable living. So I changed the way I do my grocery shopping. I take all my own containers into the shop to the butcher. I shop at my local butcher, take all our own containers in, get all my meat put in the container, so I have no packaging at all. I shop at my local fruit and veg place, take all my own produce bags in, so I have no plastic bags or anything like that. I shop, the bulk of my shopping is at my local bulk food shop up the road, and they sell everything, cleaning products, peanut butter. They've got a grinder, a nut grinder. They've got a coffee grinder, so you can get everything freshly ground and take your own jars in. Flours, all sorts of different types of flours, sugars and baking stuff and pasta and rice and beans and legumes and everything. They sell everything in there, and they encourage you to take your own containers in. And you also get a discount on your item because you're not using their packaging. So they're really big on you taking your own containers in, and everyone does it. So it's become really normal. So I go in there with like jars and jars of stuff and fill everything up, and it's brilliant. And I go to the cheap supermarket and get all the other stuff that I need, like butter and canned stuff. And it's drastically reduced my grocery bill, which has been awesome. But it's drastically reduced all the food packaging. And so we have hardly any rubbish now, because a lot of our general rubbish was, food packaging. And I also have a compost bin, so I compost all the kitchen scraps and all that kind of thing. So that's one thing that she's really helped, well, that I've gotten, I wouldn't say helped me personally, but I've gotten through watching her channel, is living more sustainably and just living a much more simple life. And the one thing I would say that's had the biggest impact for me personally is getting rid of Facebook. Now, when I say getting rid of Facebook, I can't say 100% getting rid of, because I do still have a profile, but it is deactivated, and it's been deactivated for ages now. And actually prior to deactivating it, I really hadn't been on it much at all. I really hadn't. I had not been happy with Facebook for a long time. I was fed up with so much on there, but a few key ones were the inconsistencies of Facebook. This makes me so mad even still thinking about it, but a distant family member had shared this video. I don't know what possesses people to do this, but he shared this awful video of this wee girl being horrifically abused, actually, as it turns out, by her own mother. And some cretin had filmed it, and then they'd uploaded it to Facebook. She had a bleeding nose. Your mother was laying into her with various objects. It was awful. It was so awful. And I was just scrolling through excuse me, my feed, and it just came up, and there was no warning or anything, like it was just there. And I was like, what is this? And I showed my husband, and he was equally horrified and really angry, and a whole bunch of other people saw it. So we all sent a report in and complained, and Facebook did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. Not one thing. In fact, when I deactivated my Facebook, I actually went back and checked, and this would have been 2 or 3 months later, and it was still on there. They must have had 20, 30, even more reports, and they did nothing. And yet they will remove other things that are, like innocent. The inconsistencies with Facebook was really starting to bug me. the oversharing that people were doing. Now, I myself was chronically bad for this, really, really bad for oversharing stuff. I'm embarrassed when I think about the things that I would put on there, and some of it was really bad, but some of it was just pathetic. Like, look what I made for tea, and I'd take a photo of this friggin' salad or something, or look what I brought today, and that was me being arrogant and showing off. Just sharing stuff about your everyday life that back in the day no one gave a shit about. And all of a sudden it's, you know, it gives you like a glimpse into people's lives, and perfect strangers, because we all have people on our Facebook that we actually don't know in real life. And that was starting to annoy me. The drama, there's always drama. There was always drama on Facebook, and I have had, honest to God, I have had enough online drama to last me a friggin' lifetime. So any hint of drama now, I'm out of there. I just can't be dealing with drama. It makes my skin crawl. Even the thought of being involved in anything dramatic, online drama crap, just, no, I won't have a bar of it. The validation from complete strangers, and again, this was something that I did a lot of, taking selfies. So you'd take a selfie, and, you know, you'd take about 30 before you got the one that you actually were prepared to put on Facebook, and you'd have your phone up, you know, trying to get the big angle, like the right angle, because you don't want to be showing your double chin or whatever. And it's actually quite funny. I took this selfie, and my sister, I'd caught up with my sister a couple of days later, and she was like, that photo that you put on Facebook a couple of days ago, she said, you know, that doesn't even look like you. You don't look like that. And I was like, what do you mean? Of course I look like that. She's like, no, you don't. She said, your skin is not that flawless. You are fat in the face, because, you know, it's your sister, so they can get away with saying things like that. Your eyes look really big, and they're not, because you've got the family trait of hooded eyes, which it's like our mother has it, my sister has it, our eyelids kind of droop. We all have, all the females in our family have hooded eyes. So she sort of pointed out all these things, and I got brassed off because I thought that I looked quite good, and I knew inside that she was right, because I didn't look like that. I had a huge filter on my phone. My skin was porcelain smooth, and, you know, my face was all slim, and it was sort of shaped like Jennifer Aniston's face, which is not, I mean, I have a fat face. There was no double chin. I mean, I have a double chin. I mean, look, you know, I have a wattle. That's what my husband calls it. Charming man. And I looked about 15 years younger than what I am. I looked like I was in my very early 30s, and I'm 44. So it was that validation from complete strangers. Oh, you look really good, and you know, like even men, oh, you look really hot, and you get that really false sense of confidence. And I was asking myself, like, why do I even feel like I need complete strangers telling me that I look really good? Like, why do I even care? And the fact of the matter is that I was a really unconfident person, and it gave me a boost in confidence, but it was a false sense of confidence. It wasn't real. And so you'd get this sort of these lovely positive comments, and then that would fade pretty quick, and so you'd have to keep putting more. That was what it was like for me anyway. So this validation was something that I started recognizing in myself, and I didn't like it, and I was like, I don't need perfect strangers to tell me anything about myself, and I know that my happiness, my confidence, my self-esteem has to come from within, not from posting a fake picture of myself, a heavily filtered picture. So there was that, and also just the sense of privacy that I felt I'd lost. And, you know, you'd be scrolling through Google, looking at something on Google, and then all of a sudden you'd be getting ads about it on Facebook, which I mean, it's called something, isn't it? I don't know what it's called, I can't remember. But that I didn't like. And I'm a really private person. I mean, if you have been on my Facebook in the past, you'd probably disagree, but I value my privacy. And so I didn't like this oversharing that I was doing. It kind of went against everything of my personality is to be, you know, overshare and all this stuff. So I felt like I'd lost my privacy as well, and I didn't like it. So I started thinking seriously about Facebook and why I was keeping it around. And I was keeping it around because I had a soap page. I started a soap page for myself, selling my soap and a whole heap of other bath and body products. I've made soap for years and years and years, and I've had quite a few people say to me, you should sell it. So I was like, you know, I can do that. I'll start a little sideline business for myself. I quickly discovered that I actually didn't like having a business. I am, and I'll be the first to admit it, I'm a very selfish person with my time. I like having free time to do the things that I find enjoyable. Pottering in my garden, sitting and reading a book, you know, taking myself out for a coffee, browsing around the garden shops, you know, all sorts of different things that I enjoy doing. Just being on my own. And where was I going with that? I've just had a brain fart. Anyway, so I am selfish, you know, with my time. And okay, now I'm back on track. Can't lose your train of thought. I don't know. That's me. So I was finding that with having my day job, and I work about 25 hours a week, which again relates back to liking quite a lot of free time for myself. And I'm lucky that I can financially, we can live on me working only sort of 25 hours a week, because my husband's now fully retired. He's on the pension. So, and I was finding I was going to work and doing my day job. I'm a community carer. I work with mainly elderly people. And then I go back at night for about an hour to get a couple of clients into bed. But during the day, I was flat out making soap and making products and packaging and making labels and doing it all myself, because my husband didn't want to borrow it, which is fine. Excuse me, I've got a real frog in my throat. And I just didn't have any free time. Everything was just focused on this business, and I was getting fed up with it, and I was not enjoying making soap. Another thing that I was finding is that it's so competitive in the soap making world. You wouldn't think that it would be, but it was. And I had joined a few sort of New Zealand based soap pages over here. I'd won a couple of competitions for my soap, and you know, I was really proud of them. But I discovered that there are really unscrupulous people in all sectors of society, even soap makers, and my designs were being copied. I had made this beautiful soap. I had spent ages designing it and what I wanted it to look like. It was quite an intricate soap. It had a sort of a lace top on it. It was lovely, and I'd posted it in one of the Facebook groups that I was in, the New Zealand-based Facebook groups, and no word of a lie, 2 weeks later, a woman had come in, completely copied my design. You can't copyright a soap. So completely copied my design. The only thing she had changed was slightly changed the colour that she'd used. Mine was very pink, hers was slightly lilac. She'd used the same silica mat that I had used to create the lace top, everything, and people were fawning over it. She had a much bigger following than me. And I was like, you've just copied my design. You've just out and out copied my friggin' design. And that was my sort of first taste of that sort of thing. And I've seen it on YouTube, you know, people that have got businesses, and, you know, they find that people sort of copy their ideas. And I didn't realise how rage inducing it was until it had happened to me. And it started happening a lot because my products were quite unique. They had a bit of a gothic look to them, and, you know, people were always looking for new ideas, and they would just copy mine. So even down to how I wrote my ads and how I presented my page was being copied. I was fed up with it. I was enraged about it. So that, coupled with the fact that all my time was spent making these products, I was starting to not enjoy it. And I said to my husband, I'm not enjoying this. I'm really not. And he was like, get rid of it. Why don't you just get rid of it? If you don't like it, just keep it small scale as you used to. That's what you used to do, and you were perfectly happy. So that's exactly what I did. Once I had made the decision to no longer have my little soap business, my soap page was attached to my main profile on Facebook. Getting rid of Facebook was quite easy. I deleted my soap page. I sold a whole heap of supplies off, because literally my entire conservatory was just all soap supplies, and that was starting to irritate me as well, because although my house is quite full, I have a lot of, it's sort of, I based it around sort of a Victorian Gothic look, and I have like lots of stuff on walls, and I have lots of taxidermy and things like that. It's organised clutter, and it all sort of flows, whereas all my soap stuff, it was just crap everywhere, and it was driving me insane. So I sold all that off, kept the basics for myself so I can still create soap. I still have a couple of people that buy off me, and I make it for gifts and things like that. And then I deactivated my Facebook, and it has been the best thing that I have done. Probably I can't even remember. It's been the best thing that I have done in a very long time for myself. There is one reason why I haven't fully deleted it, and that is because of Messenger. Now, I very rarely use Facebook Messenger. I'm not the sort to, I actually don't like being on my phone. I really hate being on my phone, this fucking on your phone. I hate that. So I really hardly ever use Facebook Messenger. In fact, I'm filming on my phone now, so I can't check, but I think the last message I got on there was about a month ago. I hardly ever use it, but it is handy to have just in case. And I don't know of any other app that does all the features that Facebook Messenger have, so that's why I keep it. But if there is another app, I mean, I don't have Snapchat or Twitter or anything like that. I do have an Instagram, but I very rarely use Instagram. I'm not a big Instagram user. If there's another app that does all the things that Facebook Messenger does, then I will have that and gladly get rid of Facebook. But as it stands at the moment, I just keep it deactivated. It's been deactivated for ages, for months. I have no desire to go and look at it. I've had not one desire to just go and be curious. In fact, there's hardly anyone on it anyway, because I took most people off and unfollowed all the pages that I was following. And yeah, so it's been the best thing. Getting rid of Facebook has been the best thing. If you've ever been curious about what life is like not being on Facebook, give it a go. Deactivate it for a month and see how your life changes. Everything about my life has improved. My physical well-being, because I'm not, looking at my phone all the time, sitting on my ass looking at my phone. I'm actually up doing things. I'm so much more organized. My mental health has improved. I'm not seeing all the drama and all the just crap that's on Facebook. You don't realize how much of that you actually take with you through your day. So I'm not seeing any of that. My spirituality left me for quite a while when I was a toxic person, because Facebook made me, I was really toxic. Gave me a very false sense of confidence, which is not me. And I sort of have this little saying that toxicity and spirituality are not good bedfellows, and I believe that they are absolutely not. My spirituality has sort of come full circle. I'm back to that really, when you first discover your path, and it's exciting and it's mysterious and it's all you can think about. That's where I'm at now. And I'm back being an honourable person, when for many years I was a very dishonourable person. And I can honestly say I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so contented. I'm so grounded. It's hard for me to put into words how good I feel. I feel so good about life, and I'm so bloody contented with life. And I sort of try and not hold on to regrets, because I think that that's counterproductive to moving forward. But I do have huge regrets about some of my actions that I've done via Facebook. I have ended friendships at the drop of a hat without giving the other party a time to explain. I've just up and blocked people that I used to be really, really good friends with. And those things I regret. There are people that I have blocked, however, that will always remain blocked, that I have no desire to have anything to do with. And I'm, you know, glad that I'm no longer involved in certain groups and things like that. I was in quite a lot of a lot of Facebook groups, witchy Facebook groups, and a lot of them are so toxic, I discovered. So yeah, not in any of them anymore. I'm getting off track with what I was saying, but yeah, Facebook really did change me for the worse, and I'm glad that I am no longer a party to it, and that I've seen the light, and totally left all that behind. So I wanted to share that little journey with you guys, and yeah, if you've stayed with me this long, thanks for watching. And that was a little bit rambly, but that is me. I'm not very good at this kind of thing, but you know, I do my best. So anyway, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful spring day. I'm going to go out and potter in my garden and just enjoy the peace and quiet. Hubby's out fishing today, which is nice. Be nice if he catches us some dinner. He's out fishing, and yeah, son's doing his thing, and I am just enjoying the peace and quiet and time in solitude, which I value. So anyway, I will leave it there. I hope you're all doing well. Hope COVID's not like, I don't know, it's just been such a shitty year, hasn't it, really? But there we go. Anyway, I'm rambling crap. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.